Like other new inmates, he's locked up 23 hours a day. Blake Lammers is 22 years old, and I met him at the Jefferson City Correctional Center. That's the maximum security prison in Missouri that he now calls home.
What did you do to get here?
I bought 2 ARs. I didn't tell my mom. She found a receipt in my pocket, and then she called the sheriff's department, and they came and found me.
In the interrogation, you were asked lots of questions.
Yes.
At some point, you said you had intended to cause people harm.
Yes, and then the detective, he came out of nowhere and said I was going to threaten a movie theater. I just started agreeing with him because I knew either way he was going to find me, he was going to charge me for something.
Police eventually did charge Lammers with making a terrorist threat, first-degree assault, armed criminal action.
Would you have hurt anybody?
No.
Absolutely
I would
not.
hurt myself before I hurt someone else.
While it is impossible to know what exactly was going on inside Blake Lammers' mind when he bought those guns, we do know, in this incident, he didn't hurt anyone. No doubt Blake has had a troubled past. In 2011, he pled guilty to an assault on his coworker at a mail facility. In 2009, he was arrested at Walmart carrying a butcher knife. He told a psychologist he had thought about killing a woman there.
It's like, I just want to get on with my life.
His parents, Tricia and Bill Lammers, say that was all in the past, and they agreed to talk about it, including the day they called the police on their own son.
I gathered up his clothes from the bathroom floor and came upstairs and was going through his pockets, and I found a receipt from Walmart that he had bought a weapon for $865. I immediately went out in the garage and I called Bill and I said, what do we do?
Was that the concern, that he was going to hurt
My
somebody?
concern was he would take the guns and kill himself.
And you decide to call the authorities.
The next day, Thursday morning, I went to the sheriff's department with the receipt.
According to police documents, Blake's mother, Tricia, was concerned Blake might shoot people at a movie theater. She says not true, that they had twisted her words. She claims all she said was that Blake's gun looked like the one used by James Holmes in the Aurora, Colorado shooting. She told me she wasn't worried about a mass homicide, but rather a lonely suicide.
So what did they say to you?
They said, okay, Mrs. Lammers, thank you for coming to us. He didn't seem like he was too concerned. Okay, thank you.
Trish, why did they put him in jail?
They said they were doing a well-being check. So they picked him up at Sonic and they said, we need to take you to the police station for questioning.
And in an instant, the lives of this family changed forever. Within minutes of meeting Blake, you could feel and see and hear the cause of his parents' worry. He was a broken kid. Lots of smiles, but lots of pain.
Trying too hard to fit in with other people. At one point, in my sophomore year in high school, for a whole semester, from August to December, I ate my lunch in the bathroom because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody that ate lunch at that time.
It's kind of sad, Blake.
Well, it is. Looking back, I was like, man, I should at least try to talk to people, but I was shy in high school. I was afraid to talk to someone because of what I would say and how it would come out.
He did flag football and he did basketball and did karate.
Diagnosed with dyslexia as a child, Blake struggled in school, but he eventually succeeded. By 9th grade, he had lettered academically, made the dean's list, and was a 4.0 student. Then seemingly overnight, it all went downhill, and fast.
Within 6 months, it went from wonderful to what is going on? We've got a serious problem.
Soon he was in and out of hospitals. Within just a couple of years, he was diagnosed with nearly a dozen different psychiatric illnesses. Mood disorder, major depression, schizoid personality. So when Blake bought the guns, his parents felt they had to step in. They saw their son as a patient. But authorities saw that same troubled boy and concluded he should be a prisoner.
Do you have homicidal thoughts?
I did when I was 16.
His mother thinks Blake was a gullible kid and easily led because of his mental illness. But prosecutors tell us he had a real plan to kill. He just didn't get a chance to carry it out. They believe they prevented a tragedy. Psychologist John Phillips treated Blake at this hospital when he was 17.
Were you concerned that he was a threat?
In the 4 months that he was at the hospital, he was
the model resident.
Did you ever feel that he was potentially a harm to others? That was the concern, it seemed.
I never once felt, that he would ever try to hurt anyone on purpose. I think that he wasn't a malicious child. He never actually ever acted out any of those threats. He never ever once was violent in any way.
How do you distinguish then the kid who is just talking, being a teenager, versus someone who could go out and do some serious harm?
You have to find out what is going on, in their head, and you've got to be able to assess whether their behavior is neurologically based and just based on an environmental reaction, or whether they are actually, sociopathic, where they actually don't care about anybody, they just care about what they want.
Is that the distinction you see with Blake?
Oh, absolutely.
He's being treated as having a criminal mind.
Exactly.
But he has an autistic mind.
Exactly. I think because of Blake's history of threatening, they kind of put it all the way to the other extreme and really never gave him a chance to be rehabilitated. And where he is now, there's no chance of him being rehabilitated,
Do you think prison is the right place for him?
Absolutely not.
Blake also saw a psychiatrist who had concerns.
We kept a very close watch on him.
He told us Blake's relationships were falling apart, and he often talked about violence. Even so, he agrees Blake does not belong in jail. Neither of these men who treated Blake were asked to testify at his trial. Would it have made a difference? We'll never know. His parents have been shouting from the rooftops that their son is mentally ill and belongs in a hospital, not a prison.
I went to the authorities for help and for them to just keep an eye on my son. I did not go there for the intention of him to be arrested.
Do you think that Blake would have ever hurt anybody with these guns?
No.
Trish, do you think that could have ever happened?
No,
Did Blake blame you because you went to the authorities?
no.
What were the conversations like with him?
I have a letter he wrote me. I've got nothing but time. We both can get through this. Just don't lose hope. This is a very important time in our lives. We can do this together. So promise me that you'll stop blaming yourself for all of this.
Lucid, compassionate,
Yeah,
thoughtful.
yeah.
Just 1 hour with the person isn't enough to really understand what's running through their mind. But as jarring as it is to say out loud, it seems entirely possible that Blake Lammer's only crime here is having a mental illness.
Your life now, here in this prison, is there anything about it that makes sense to you?
This place is supposed to help you. I don't think it is. I think prison is supposed to just keep you away from society, because society is scared of you.
Should they be scared of you, Blake?
For what I said, yes. For actual me, no. I didn't do anything to harm anybody out there. I was just the average 20-year-old kid living in a small town.